Ready. Play.
Final quarterfinal I want to talk about is Ben Shelton against Jack Draper. And they have never played each other before. Is this maybe the most interesting, exciting quarterfinal, at least on the men's side?
What else do we have? Rikspor against Rune. That's a good one too.
It is.
Medvedev feels only if Arthur delivers.
Yeah.
Alcaraz, Cerundolo, probably not unless something magical happens. So yeah, I mean either this or Rikspor Rune for sure. Yeah, this is like two young guys. I think whoever wins will be like number 11 on the verge of entering the top 10 for the first time. So
I think Draper's
there's a
been in
lot
the
of
top 10, though,
experience
for
there.
like 1 week. Did he
Draper?
not?
No,
I thought he entered the top 10 for 1 week. I could be wrong.
you can check. I mean, but I don't think so. I might be wrong. He was definitely very close to it, but I
Yeah.
don't think
Maybe he
that's
got to
happened yet.
11. Yeah. All right.
Yeah. I think it even maybe 12. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is that yeah, one of them will be on the verge of the top 10, and well, they're both super young. They both haven't been at a stage of this, of an ATP or this sort of a stage of an ATP 1000 in terms of a semi-final. They both lost some quarters. So yeah, I do think this is probably the most exciting one, just for that, really, just for someone fresh, but obviously not that fresh considering all the other achievements they've amassed.
I mean, Jack's trajectory is certainly upward. I think I've heard his performance, against Taylor Fritz been certainly mentioned. I think maybe even by Jack himself as his best performance of the year, but even by others by just going, Jack is on a new level now. And that level is, even if the rankings aren't quite justifying it yet, that level is top 10 when you're skiddling former Indian. And I was thinking about Taylor Fritz at one point. I thought, okay, is he moving okay? Is he not feeling good? And then I thought, oh no, this is just how Taylor Fritz moves. And but nevertheless, he almost did it with the double break. Obviously, he lost one of those breaks in the second set. And at that point, I was wondering, okay, Jack, how's your nerve now? Because I was sensing a potential sort of evening things up and maybe a second set tiebreaker or even a third set. But Jack managed to see it out very well. The forehand, which I think 2 years ago was super inconsistent, seems to be a little bit more solid now, and in fact is a weapon on occasions. The backhand is great. The serve is good. I think things are coming together for him. Is it going to come together enough for a win of the title here at Indian Wells? Probably not. Is it coming together enough, though, to beat Ben Shelton?
I mean, that's not really something that we can say is out of the equation. I mean, I don't know.
I
Yeah,
think
I don't know what the odds are, but I would imagine they're super close.
I think the other three semis, and I heard a great word from an expression from Brenny of the day about name bias. I think he was talking about Rune, perhaps, and maybe it was even Rune Greek's boy he was looking at.
Pretty considerable favorite, by the way, Jack Draper.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's a bit wild to me. He is though very high in ELO ratings, and kind of like I can imagine the algorithms liking him, like the models based on data. So I guess that's why. But yeah, I mean by this even Rune is not as big a favorite as Jack is.
Okay, because I was thinking of the other three quarterfinals on the men's side being able to pick a winner with not certainty, but just going, Alcaraz clearly over Cerundolo. I'm actually going Rune over Griekspoor, but I can see arguments for both players. But it's sort of the name bias there, and just Rune, playing as well as he can, especially against Tsitsipas, probably beats Griekspoor. And the other quarterfinal, of course, is Medvedev Feast, which for me is the easiest one to call because I'm just not sure if I trust Feast quite yet. But this one is I thought was 50-50. I'm surprised at the Draper odds, but I can also understand what you mean with the ELO ratings and other algorithms favoring him. I mean, Shelton does seem to be a guy who rises to the occasion. I mean, Jack's okay. Jack's been in a US Open semi-final, albeit aided and abetted by maybe a slightly favourable draw and one or two unhealthy players on the other side of the net. Obviously, he avoided Alcaraz there, didn't he, with Botic winning that, and then he sort of propelled from there. And yet Shelton is just, you know, he's already knocking on the door of a Grand Slam final. You could say with Jack with that one semi-final appearance. I'm sort of talking myself into a Shelton win.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if I have to just like flip a coin, which basically this is coin flipping, coin tossing, I maybe would go Shelton. Why not? You know, big stage in America. He loves these sort of conditions. You mentioned name bias with Kriegspur and Rune, and I do think that's what's playing into it in that match for a lot of people. But
Yeah,
like here, there's no real possibility for like name bias. Their achievements thus far, they're
yeah,
pretty much
right.
the same. They're almost the same age. Jack is from 2001, but December. So yeah, it just
I'm
feels
on
like they're
tour.
more or less the same
Yeah,
player. You know, lefties, both
yeah.
big serves. Jack obviously so much more solid and like all rounded, but doesn't quite have the explosiveness of Ben. I
How
don't really see Jack as like a that
no?
stronger player by that much at this
How
point in his
clear?
game.
How quickly can you see their records against lefties on what's that website?
Shelton, I know Shelton's because since Roland Garros, he is 6-1 against lefties. Although earlier, I think he was like 0-5 for a while.
Oh, okay,
You know, it's not the biggest sample, but basically, he's been owning Shapovalov recently.
okay.
And also, what's playing into his head-to-head record against lefties on the ATP Tour, which is like 6-6, I think, right now, is that he's 0-3 against Shang. So you know, there's a lot of variance there depending on like what you want to include. I'm not sure about Draper, but you know, there's no reason why he would be struggling against lefties. I don't think.
I think Draper's
Shelton
0-1
used to
against
have a pretty
Rafa.
poor record.
I think Draper's
Uh,
0-1 against Rafa. I think they only played once. I'm
yeah,
pretty sure of that.
Shelton wouldn't have gotten that chance. But yeah, now Ben is on a good run, 6-1 since Roland Garros, and that one loss again was to Yuncheng Shang.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.